Well, hello there, friends and family. As you can see, we're out in Alice again. Yep, and it's a wonderful, beautiful day. Oh, about 60 degrees, bright sunshine, a little bit of wispy clouds. I was out here checking the mail, but then I got the idea, why not take a ride? And I'm going to go to some place that might be interesting, or maybe not. For some of you, it is for me. And it's something I wish I had done several times over the years, so I could have seen how things matured over time in my little small town. So hey, if you want to, jump on in, buckle up, bring a snack or two, or a cold drink if you want to, and let's take a ride through part of what is a historic area of my little small town in Tallassee, Alabama. Of course, living in this town, for the most part, you're living in history. Yep, you sure are. I mean, my house was built back in, construction started in 1940. An interesting fact is, it was one of the first houses on this street. Yep, the original structure, which is only half of what the house is now, I think was completed in 1942. Yep. But where we're going is to what is known as the Mill Village. Well, at least the Mill Village on the east side of the river, the side I live on. So we got to head on down there. And why am I sort of interested in it and taking a ride there today? Well, it's like I said, I sort of wish I had done this over the years, because all neighborhoods progress. Yes, they do. And that's what we're going to see today. You know, neighborhoods, they have their high points and then they transition a lot of times to their lower points, and then they sort of receive a rebirth. Yep, that they do. And these homes we're going to be viewing today, they're not spacious. Some of them are on the large side. Mostly they're just small homes that were typical of the day. And that day being from about 1850s to the early 1920s to 1940s. Yep. And it's the Mill Village. And all the homes we're going to be seeing here in a minute were all owned at one time by the mill, the cotton mill, that is. Yep. And we're not there yet. This section is actually called the New Addition. My neighborhood is called Carville Subdivision, which, like I say, started in about somewhere right around 1940. Those speed bumps were pretty rocky. I hope y'all were all buckled up. Boy, those in the back, in the rumble seat, in the trunk, are having a rough ride today. But we got to wind our way through this neighborhood, which most of these houses were built back during the 60s, 70s, and even some into the 80s. They're more modern style, and as you can see, much larger than my little cottage under the oaks. You see, there was a time in America when, houses, for the most part, weren't all that large. Well, here we are. This is the start of what once was the east side Mill Village. We're going to go down and cruise right along the lake, and then we'll work our way back up through it. Oh, by the way, there's the city's tennis courts on our side. And we do have a really nice pool over here that just reopened this past summer. Yep. We got batting cages. There's the pool facilities right over there to the right. It's a nice pool. I am so happy they finally opened it back up. There was a lot of controversy over that. But this is the road right before the lake. And that'd be Lake Tallassee. It'd be over there on the right. Maybe you can see some of the water peeking through the trees. And the houses on the left were all mill village houses at one time. We're just cruising right on through. Nice and slow. I just wanted to get out and ride. Loosen up the old bones a bit. Of course, Alice, she needed loosened up a little bit too. Because once again, we've been having temperatures down in the mid to high 30s. Pretty chilly for some of us. Well, let's whip on in here to the first street we come to. And you can see some of the houses, and they've all got that clapboard siding on them. Some of them still got, I think it's a shell type roof. Many of them been re-roofed. And what I've been noticing over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of young people that have come back into these neighborhoods, and they're fixing up these old mill houses. And like I say, a lot of these were built back in the very early, like 1901 through the 20s and 30s. Some even in the 40s. But it's sort of quaint, quiet neighborhood. There's still a lot of us old seniors holding on. Though I must admit, we're getting fewer by the day. Big old trees. During the springtime, in fact, they're already starting to bloom, the azaleas. There's one for sale by Bailey Realty. That house we just passed by on the corner, that's another one they've been fixing up, and they're finally living back in it again, because it had been vacant for many a year. So I'm glad to see that. And what happens to a lot of these houses, the mill actually started selling them off to employees. I think it was back, in the 70s and 80s. And they sold them for really cheap to their employees. I guess so they wouldn't have to maintain them anymore. But another unique thing is, most of these homes originally were built out of timber and materials that were located locally. Yep, that's a fact. And like I say, many of them have been redone. And as we drive through, I'm looking, I hope y'all can see, from time to time you'll run across one that's in the midst of being renovated and redone as well. But every once in a while, I like to take a ride through the old neighborhood and just see what it looks like. What's going on? Do you ever do that? If you do, let me know in the comments below the video. Oh, there's FedEx. They're delivering some nice packages to that house right there. Well, we're going to head on down here. We'll actually have the library coming up on the right. And that library dates way back in time. It too was built by the mill. See, this one here got a little white picket fence. That's really neat. And there's the library right there. Now we'll go over here on the other side of what is now called Central Avenue. Once upon a time, it was called Main Street when this side of the river wasn't part of Tallassee, but was part of Carville. But Carville was annexed and made into part of Tallassee. And now it's known as East Tallassee. But you can see there's all different types and all different styles. We'll head her on down here first. Some of these back in the day were actually duplexes. We may run across one or two. Whoop, there's one of those speed bumps again that snuck up on us. Here's another one. Oop, oop. Whew, I don't know about y'all. There's one on the right getting started being redone. Some of these down here looking pretty sad shape. I guess nobody's found a home for them. We're gonna have to turn around here because the road dead ends. There's one right there. There's two of them right there in front of us. In fact, that's a duplex that could use some love. And like I say, there's a lot of elderly that live down here. And surprisingly, for those who have hung on, they all probably actually worked at the mill. Which as of its closing, I think it was back in 2004 or 2005. I think it was 2005. It was known as the Mountain Burning Mills. And as you can see, some of them are still in pretty sad shape. And most of these were probably built closer to the 1900s. Well, somebody's remodeling because there's some toilets that have been tore out. waiting for the trash man. And every once in a while, there'll be a new one piled. There's another one being remodeled right there. Woo, they got some aggressive speed bumps over here. Oh, they got them a little Mini Cooper. There's a nice brick one off to the right. Okay. We'll head her on down this way. And what's neat is they all have alleys behind. That's where the garbage man comes, where their utilities are. Water and stuff of that nature. Ooh, look at that one up there. It's got a pretty red roof. And by the looks of it, somebody's remodeling it as well. I can see a new HVAC pump. Boy, these speed bumps would really get on your nerves. But there's kids, and that's a good thing. These are younger couples coming on in and redoing a lot of these homes. Now, since it's been so long since I've been down in here, I really have no idea where I'm going. We're just driving along. Seeing what there is to see. Well, there's another house starting to get a facelift with new paint. Did you see that big hawk or eagle just fly in front of us out there in the woods? Well, you might want to back that up and check it out. That was rather cool. Yes, we do have eagles in Alabama. Brown eagles and the bald eagle. Though I must say they're more up north Alabama than down this far south. Oh, we got a little kitty cat out in the road trying to greet us, a little calico. Well, a lot of these have been spruced up. Like I say, all young families now, intermixed with all of us elderly. When I came to Tallassee, like in my neighborhood, there were younger families my age, and of course seniors in their early to mid 60s. Of course now, most of them are gone. And from time to time, you can tell an elderly person lives there because they got the ramps, so they have better mobility. And these houses range from anywhere from about 900 square feet to upwards of 1,400 to 1,600 square feet too. But I thought you might enjoy seeing the old mill village. Of course, the mill, like I say, been closed now since '05. All of them are closed now in Alabama. And we had quite a few. And that's what Tallassee was. It was a mill town. And that's all it was. And it wouldn't be till the 70s when another industry would come to town called Neptune. And it would be that company that brought me down to work for them so many years ago. Yep, that's how I ended up here. You know, I often ask others that came from other places, as far away as Chicago, India, Pakistan, New York. How in the world did you wake up one day, look at a map, and say, you're moving to Tallassee, Alabama, USA? Oh, there's a duplex right there. It's been all redone and fixed up. I'm seeing many houses that are still in stages of renovation. Finished ones too. And it's been years since I've been over here in this part of the mill village. Well, this says no through traffic, so we're going to turn around. I hope they don't mind, because we didn't know. But they get a lot of people like that. Because once upon a time, this road went on through. Not no more. They tore up the pavement. Oh, there's a little doggy letting us know, saying hi. And there's some very small, like that one there. Probably ain't even 500 square feet. But like I say, these were all built by the Mount Vernon Mills carpenters that built everything. You know, at one time, there were company stores. That's where you bought your groceries, your clothes, your dry goods, whatever you needed. You didn't pay money. They just put it on your tabs and then took it off your check. And of course, the mill workers didn't make very much. Of course, you had to pay rent. That came out of your check too. And when the mill villages were electrified back during the Rural Electrification Act, when they got their electricity, which many of these that we just rode through initially did not have when they were built. And they didn't have bathrooms. They were all added on too. Yep, they had outhouses. Sure enough, they did. We're gonna have to wait a while because it looks like they opened up the bridge for traffic this way. So apparently it's got warm enough to allow the bridge painting to resume. Or at least I think that's what they're doing. So this is part of the Mill Village too, right here on Central. This is the last of it before we head on up back to the house. It was just a short ride. Something to do, because there's one thing I need, and I got to get me some gas. I think this will be what? My third fill up this year? Not in 2024, I mean since I bought Alice. I think it's the fourth. Even with me going back and forth to Montgomery all the time to my doctor's appointments. So we'll whip into the old Valero if any of y'all want to get out and grab a snack, a cold drink, or what have you. You can do that while I fill her up. Alice gets amazing gas mileage. And plus, we just we're not speed demons no more. We lost the lead foot we had in our youth. Sometimes I find myself going below the speed limit. Now I understand. Maybe as we get older, it feels like we're going faster than we think we are. Because I know I commented too how, you know, it always seemed the older people would be going slower than the speed limit. And I often said I didn't want that to be me. So here we go. Y'all sit in the car while I fill her up with gas. Well, there you have it. She's all filled up with gas. Only took 25. That's one thing about Alice. She doesn't take much. And yep, I just checked my record. That's the fourth tank we put in her since May, when we first got her. So now we're back to the house. Just a little ride through the old Mill Village, you know, to loosen me up. And Alice too. I mean, I was actually only going to go out and fill up the car. And then all of you showed up. And I thought maybe you'd like to take a little drive. It's been a while since we did. And see some of our historic Mill Village. Of course, I wish I'd have done it back in '95. Because then we missed the gear. You know, you drive an automatic so long, sometimes your mind doesn't say shift when it needs to. Oh. Every once in a while I catch myself trying to drive Alice like she's an automatic instead of a manual. Oh, I guess that just comes, we're getting old too. Well, here we are, back at the house. I got the mail, so all we got to do is back on in and call this one done. Not much today, folks. And there you have it. On a beautiful, sunny, bright day in the deep south of Alabama. I'm glad y'all could come along for a little ride and a little talk. I hope wherever you are, the weather's warm and you're all doing fine. Until next time, may you all take care. Stay safe out there, my friends and family. And may God bless you as you bless those in your lives. Goodbye for now. Whew. We must get ready to start feeding the kitty crew. Yep, let's get her on in and grab their plate and start fixing up chow before it gets too late. Oh, later all.